Greetings everyone and welcome. I'm your host Captain Rye, and today's video comes to us courtesy of Archer 6155. And Archer is playing in the Tier 9 Premium US battleship USS Missouri here in World of Warships. As the battle gets underway, it's North and it's Domination Match Mode. The enemy team has a little bit of a destroyer advantage, having 4 destroyers. Now, I believe this replay was sent to me and recorded before the latest patch drop, so it does have the old matchmaking in it. But that's alright. Archer's not going to let old bad matchmaking stand in his way. And right off the bat, he's got shots out on an enemy Richelieu off in the distance behind the C cap point. I do apologize for the video appearing a little bit jerky here. That's just the way the replay came. Apparently the replay picks up all of your lag, even though it's a replay. So that lag, unfortunately, was likely being experienced by Archer. Now, shots coming in here from the Richelieu. Archer turns in slightly. That's a smart move for him because those Richelieu guns, they might not be as big, but they can still cause a lot of damage to a broadside Iowa or broadside Missouri. Problem, though, is that Archer's got himself an island in the way, which is going to force him to turn broadside. However, you'll notice he held off on that turn until basically the last possible second here and was able to drop off detectability there. Fires another salvo, but this time he's staying undetected because now he's got the island in his way. Now you'll notice that he was able to fire those shots over that island, and they did clear, but as soon as he passed behind the peak of that island, there, that little mountain icon pops up. That tells you at least one of your turrets is being blocked by that island. Now, it will pop up if one of your turrets is being blocked, not necessarily all of your turrets. So you do need to pay attention to that, because sometimes the gun camera can focus on the rear turret while your forward turrets are available. Now, the enemy team takes an early lead here. They managed to take out 2 of Archer team's destroyers. That's going to be bad news here because that gives them an absolute destroyer advantage, 4 destroyers to 1. And that's going to leave a lot of the spotting work now down to the cruisers. But given how many battleships are in play here, that's not necessarily a good thing for the cruisers because it means exposing themselves, putting themselves further out front. However, Archer is in the Missouri. Now, the Missouri, being a premium battleship, is no longer available anymore, which is a little unfortunate if you were hoping to get her, but I'm sure she'll come back. But her special gimmick as a premium is that she gets the radar consumable. So Archer goes ahead, he pops his radar consumable, and you'll notice there some ships pop up. Unfortunately, none of them are in a position to shoot at. He has switched over to the high explosive briefly, fired at the bow tanking Richelieu, partly because a bow tanking Richelieu is very, very tough nut to crack, and also partly to set him on fire. Switches back over the armor piercing, and that's when the enemy Lo Yang pops up. Now, even though he's got armor piercing, 16-inch armor piercing against a destroyer is very, very devastating, even when you only manage 2 overpenetrations. Partly because destroyers, well, they don't have a lot of health, so even overpenetrations from these big guns do hurt them. The enemy team still in the lead here, but it looks like, if you'll notice, they're congregating around the B and A cap point. They are in the process of capping A, but they keep getting reset. They are being contested back over at A. And this is a really smart play for Archer's team back over there. They're not all rushing over there. In fact, they're fighting really hard at B. And while they do lose one of their battleships over there, they've basically driven the enemy out of the A cap point. So the enemy's still not able to gain points here. But as long as the enemy keeps killing, they're going to win without having to cap here. At this point, Archer's team is now effectively 2 ships away from an automatic loss. You might be wondering what I'm talking about when I say an automatic loss. And effectively, an automatic loss is when your team hits 0 points because you've lost too many ships. But just in the nick of time, they managed to take out 1 of those pesky destroyers. So they're going to keep themselves in the game now. They can afford to lose up to 3 more ships. But they have to get up there. They have to capture. Preferably, they have to reset at the A cap point yet again. Now, enemy Lo Yang up in that smoke screen. Fairly low health Richelieu still in the background here causing problems, but look at this. This Richelieu has decided to go full broadside. You also notice there, as he does that you can see that one of his turrets has been destroyed. So that Richelieu not having a good time there. Shots out there, unfortunately a little too much lead. That's a rare thing to say with a Richelieu. Doesn't quite manage to connect with the Citadel there, but does do enough damage, and that Richelieu will hopefully end up dead. Another enemy destroyer has been taken out of the game, and from the looks of it based on the radar, that destroyer was the Lo Yang that was in front of Archer. Now Archer's pushing around here. He's got a Baltimore right in front of him, and just look at the amount of damage. Even with armor angling, that Baltimore simply cannot withstand firepower of this magnitude. Now Archer is pushing out here. He's got himself going a little too fast, and so he's going to leave the C cap point. This is both a good thing and a bad thing here. It keeps him mobile, especially considering there are still 2 enemy destroyers in play, and considering his team has now lost their last one. But it's a bad thing because it removes him from the cover of that island and from the support of his teammate. Plus, it gets him out of the C cap point and prevents capturing. But he does manage to take out that Baltimore, a nice little bow Citadel there. And enemy cruiser has popped up in the B cap point. At this point, though, the enemy team has now lost 4 ships. And so the team situation is a little bit more equal. But because they're still in the lead by 1 ship, they do hold the points advantage. And because they've got the A cap point before Archer's team was able to get the D cap point, they do hold a points capping advantage. Enemy cruiser out there at the B cap point tried to be sneaky. That New Orleans, though, not quite close enough to the rocks there. Gets a big old blast from Archer's guns. Archer, unfortunately, not able to secure a significant hit with a Citadel there. But that's okay, because he still caused a lot of damage, and he did reset the cap. But the enemy team really now in the lead with those points, with that ship kill rate. They still have their 2 destroyers available. And Archer's team is now down to just 3 battleships and 2 cruisers. The enemy team still has a good number of battleships here. They've got 2 cruisers, but again, they've got those destroyers. So at this point, both Archer and this Iowa really need to be prioritizing their targets, shooting the ships that are low health, broadside on, or can be quickly and easily killed. But also, more importantly, they need to be coordinating their firepower and raining hell upon targets together. Remember, it may be random battles, but sometimes teamwork is a good thing, and if your teammates don't want to shoot at your target, you should consider shooting at their target. Archer pops his radar here to an enemy Fletcher's dismay at very, very close range. Hits him big time for a lot of damage there. Nearly manages to kill him outright with one of his secondaries. But the friendly Iowa has also managed to hit him there. Plus, friendly cruiser Donskoy takes him out. Somebody, I think the Iowa, had a spotter aircraft up, spotted those torpedoes fired by the Fletcher, so none of those torpedoes managed to connect with Archer, and that's going to keep him alive a little bit longer. There's the New Orleans. Shots out. Can he secure the kill on there? Come on, big hits. Again, no such luck for that Citadel, and it looks like the friendly Iowa was actually firing high explosive. I think he got a little overzealous dealing with that enemy Fletcher. But look, there is the last enemy destroyer has popped up. He's been spotted. It's the enemy Leningrad. So at the very least, you know, he's not that sneaky. He's not a sneaky torpedo boat in that respect, but he is a very quick boat, and he does have torpedoes, so you definitely need to be on alert for that. So focusing him down would actually be a really, really good thing right about now. Archer's team has, however, managed to pull it back just a little bit again, and so the teams are, again, fairly equal, but the enemy team is still in the lead here, holding that points advantage, holding that ship's advantage. But as you can see, the friendly Iowa up here has found his man pants, and he's braving at B, pushing in here. And that's when the enemy Missouri pops up right around the corner here. So the question is, who do you shoot at? This enemy Missouri just poking out just far enough. The question is Archer's guns going to get reloaded quickly enough before he starts backing up? And can he get those shots into that citadel? And the answer to that is no. In this particular case, I would have said just keep focusing down this De Grosser, because he is still broadside on and fairly low health. Can Archer secure the kill? No. 2 bounces. Man, RNG just really does not like Archer tonight. He has clearly not provided enough sacrifice to the gods. But look here, this Kurfürst is emboldened by his seeming inferiority to fire, and goes broadside on again before finally getting taken out by the Donskoy. There's the enemy Leningrad, pops up once again here. Secondaries opening up, blazing away. They are hitting that Leningrad. Now, I'm not sure if Archer has manual secondaries, and you might be thinking that's an odd question to ask with a US battleship, but it isn't actually that odd when you consider that I myself have manual secondaries on my Missouri. And boy, do they sure come in handy when dealing with brash, brazen little destroyers. Archer managed to get shots off there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like a single one was able to connect. The island just getting in the way. The shots going just a little bit too low there. Really disappointing there. They also managed to lose another one of their ships, which puts them in once again in that position of being down on ships to the enemy teams. But again, there is this Leningrad who is being particularly cheeky, and it looks like he's going full speed here. Can Archer connect with him? Did he give him enough lead? He did, manages to connect, not enough to kill him outright, but the friendly Iowa also saw that Leningrad and realized that that destroyer needed to die. So they got rid of him together, taking him out of the game. And now, finally, Archer's team is actually in the points lead. And they have an advantage here because Archer is not sitting broadside onto a battleship like the enemy Missouri is. And equally important, Archer still has most of his health left. Enemy Missouri taken out there with a nice fat citadel because he had to get a little bold to try and hit them. Archer now no longer has to worry about torpedoes. He's got an enemy Nagato pushing up around this island here, who is going to cause the problem of continuously resetting them. But you'll notice that while they finally got the ships on each team equal, they were up on points. And that's because they hold 2 of the caps, and they've been sitting in one of the enemy's 2 caps. Which means the enemy isn't gaining points from 2 caps. So that points difference really does add up over the length of a game. Now, as Archer comes around this island, he was initially going after that Nagato, but the Nagato has basically slowed down. He's changed directions. He's making it difficult, and that's when the enemy Edinburgh pops up here. So Archer gets his guns pointed the other direction, lands some hits, not enough though, and definitely a little odd there that he managed to bounce some rounds. But something you got to worry about with the Edinburgh, remember, it's a British cruiser. It has torpedoes. So you need to be thinking about the possibility and, honestly, the probability of these torpedoes coming in there. Now, Archer's got himself in a bad position here. He's got a Nagato in front of him and an Edinburgh to the side of him, but he gets his shots lined up right into that Nagato for a nice fat citadel, and there's going to be his 3rd kill in the game, and now that just leaves the Edinburgh. Actually, I take that back. It's a Belfast, as he's firing high explosive. looks like an Edinburgh from the distance, because it is one. And friendly ship takes the Belfast out, finishing the game then and there. Not bad overall, 156,000 damage done. Really a lot of work done in that game. Confederate and high caliber for Archer. Top of the team for XP earned at 2,300 base XP. The friendly Fiji coming in second on the team at 1,700 base XP. In this battle, proving you can't stop playing to win, you can't stop fighting, and you should definitely coordinate your efforts and focus down those targets together for the best results. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and the channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel, or just like to have me take a look at, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play various games live, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.